Right, so for the last couple of weeks, me and the kids have been watching the entire Conjuring franchise up until The Nun 2. Now, we know the new one's coming out sometime this year. We obviously, these guys won't be able to watch it in the cinema. They're going to have to wait for it to come out on streaming. Now, I know The Conjuring are quite scary films, so not all kids can watch The Conjuring films. It is a 15-rated film, but to be honest with you, it's one of the better for kids to watch, because even though it is scary, some really terrifying moments in the Conjuring films.
Yes.
There's no swearing really. There's no nudity or sex sort of stuff or anything like that. It's very much sort of like just jump scares. It'll scare you, creepy vibes, that sort of thing.
There isn't a nun too.
Don't remember that.
No, wait, what one had the naked man?
Yeah, that's not sexualized. So anyway, so we'll get onto that when we get to the actual movies. We'll get onto that. So we've all watched the Conjuring series, or some of them. You've not watched all of them, have you? You've watched a couple of them. You decided to chime in with us, and we're going to find out what we all thought of the Conjuring series. Now, if this video, I've decided, right, this is where I'm going to get crazy now. If this video gets if it gets 10 likes, we're going to do this with the Twilight series.
I hate Twilight.
That's the point. They're rubbish. And I'll just, but it's going to be,
likes Twilight.
It's going to be interesting to see what people think. Now, you've only ever seen the first one.
I
don't think you guys have ever actually watched a Twilight film.
Beth likes it.
Yeah, Beth likes it. But it's very much a girly franchise, but there's werewolves and vampires in it. So I think that'll be our punishment. Not punishment, but a reward for you guys, but a punishment for us, that we'll watch all of the Twilight films and do a video just like this with Twilight. Now, you're probably wondering what we're going to try and do now is we're going to go through each film as we remember seeing it, and we're going to talk about what we think about the film, and then we're going to sort of do we're all going to pick our favourite Conjuring film at the end of it, okay? So here we go.
Including the nun.
And we're going to start now. There we go, right. Can you see, Jimmy? Yeah, right. So the first film in the franchise was The Conjuring. The film that started off. So The Conjuring is basically a series based on the adventures, you could say, or the cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren. These are two paranormal investigators / demonologists / exorcists that were involved in a lot of very famous paranormal stories around the 70s, the late 70s, early 80s. So The Conjuring is the first one. Now, this takes place in a farmhouse. You need to move this way or duck down or something, or Len needs to come up a bit more. Right, so The Conjuring takes place in a farmhouse. A family move in there, and in the past, a witch-type woman called Bathsheba had possessed people and caused all kinds of trouble. It's actually quite a scary film. There's a lot of very scary moments in it, and there's like a funny game that I know you guys wanted to play in the dark.
Would you?
No, in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so guys, what did you think of the very first Conjuring film when you watched it?
It's alright.
It's alright. Do you like the Conjuring film?
I like it anyway.
I remember you watched it and you got very scared by the ending. So, some of the highlights of this film, to me, and the bit that scared us all...
The wardrobe. ...is
the wardrobe. Now, there's a scene in this film where the Bathsheba witchy woman suddenly appears on top of the wardrobe and jumps off. Now, it's one of those scenes, very cleverly done, where you see the wardrobe and you see her, but you don't register her straight away, and suddenly you sort of clock it, and it's like jump scares. And
Wait, is she actually there?
Yeah, she's there. When you watch the thing, there's a few seconds before you get scared that she's on that wardrobe before it zooms in her, and you sort of do that thing where you're looking like down, like here, and so you look up to there, and because you suddenly see that she's there. So very cleverly done. There's a lot of very clever jump scares. The director, which is called James Wan, he's very, very good at jump scares. He sort of worked out that timing of it. So
yeah, is he?
Yeah. So obviously the mum. So it's the family moving the thing, and the mum starts to go a little bit weird. She gets almost like possessed. And she starts to get more and more nuts until the very end, when she goes full on witchy and like tries to kill her kids, which is the whole point. You find in the past that someone killed their kids in that family home. Now she's doing the same thing. It's a very weird and creepy situation, and it's a very well shot film. It's very like dark in things. Now, another one of the standout moments where they're playing this game where they have to clap in the dark. Well, someone's blindfolded and everyone's like clapping when they have to try and find them. It's almost like hide and seek.
It's like clap and seek or something.
Yeah, clap and seek. And it's a good game to play because like we can all play it together. But it is in this film.
No,
like,
it's hide and clap, right?
Hide and clap. Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Clap in the dark. Sound like that, but it's really creepy. And of course, they're clapping and there's ghosts in the house. And there's like a secret, almost like a Narnia wardrobe as well, where you can go into it and people disappear, but it turns out there's a hole in the back of it. And again, the Warrens come to investigate. And one of my favourite scenes in this film is when Lorraine Warren walks into the house and she's sort of looking around the house and she's looking a bit weird, but you don't really see it until later on when she reveals what she saw when she walked in the house. And they shot the whole scene again, which in the original part of the scene, she's looking at the family and you can just sort of see the family there and she's sort of talking to them. When you go back and she tells her husband what she saw, there's actually a ghostly figure walking behind the whole family. And it is creepy as hell. So if you can imagine seeing through Lorraine Warren's eyes, it must be creepy as hell. So, did we like The Conjuring 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright.
And do you think that's what jump starts? Is a good start to get into a franchise?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Too much.
Too much.
Yes, too
Right, okay, so we're moving on to the next film. Yes, it's a DVD case. Right, anyway, so, the next film in a franchise, Annabelle. Now, we got a first glimpse of Annabelle in The Conjuring. So you saw it at the very beginning of the Conjuring movie. It's like a little flashback. And obviously Annabelle is one of the most famous paranormal artifacts in the world. It's a doll. It was originally a Raggedy Ann doll that a girl said was possessed and scary and would move by itself, write weird messages to them and all that stuff. So they made a film based on that. Now in the film Annabelle, we see Annabelle in the Warren's house and we sort of get the past story of Annabelle, which is that a young mum and her husband move into a flat and she collects dolls, and one of the dolls she gets is Annabelle. And it's a creepy looking doll. I mean, the original is a Raggedy Ann doll, which is like a funny little plushy doll. They really went out to make this Annabelle creepy. That doll is just scary now. I mean, what do you think of the doll? The design of the doll?
I still say the Raggedy Ann doll was kind of creepy.
You think that's creepy as well? What do you think of you're a girl, I mean, what do you think of the doll? You understand doll? Do you think that, would you like to be sleeping in your bedroom knowing that doll is staring at you?
No.
No.
The answer is no.
But some
If I
people,
know it's
some people
staring
collect
at me,
these
then
collect these porcelain creepy dolls. So yeah. So anyway, so Annabelle is a doll that's got a kind of a spirit attached to it. Now the spirit is called, what's he called?
It's a girl.
Demand.
Mathleck or something. I don't know. But basically, yeah, it's a demon that is attached to the Annabelle doll. And it's using the doll as like a conduit, so it's sort of like using that to summon other ghosts to it, and also it wants a soul. So you find out in this film that the doll is after a soul, or the demon behind the doll is after a soul, but the soul has to be given. So what it's trying to do is manipulate the young mum into taking her own life, or giving herself to the demon. And it's done really good. There's a really horrible bit where you think the mum's actually killed her own child, where she's sort of bashing it because she thinks it's the oh my god, that sent my heart like ugh. And there's a few jump scares, like the one with the door where the woman sort of like, you see the woman run towards the door and she sort of bursts through it and it's like scary. What do we think of the story of Annabelle?
Freaky.
Wait, is this the story?
This is the Annabelle. That's the first Annabelle film. Yes, that's the Annabelle film.
No, I did not really like it.
It was very confusing and very mixed, and then
Yeah, I did not understand it.
Do you like? Wait, could you move this way a bit more so you can see?
I don't understand anything.
Do you like the way Annabelle appears in pretty much all of the Conjuring movies?
Yeah.
Even if it's for a second, she's in all the Conjuring movies. Do you think that's good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Ish.
So right, can you remember any? Because this is like 8 movies, and we've been watching them over the last few weeks. So the first ones we watched are probably going to be a bit distant in their minds at the minute. So, do you think the Conjuring was better than Annabelle?
Yes.
So the Conjuring was better than their first Annabelle film. Good.
It's
So
too
right.
over the top, Annabelle.
Good. So the next one in the franchise. So the next one in the franchise was. Right, so the next film in this franchise was The Conjuring 2.
Best one.
I know you probably can't see that very well. Oh, that looks creepy. It looks like an eye staring at it. Like,
What?
where that red mark is there. It looks quite creepy. But yeah, The Conjuring 2 was the next one.
The best one.
Well, don't get into that. We don't spoil it, what your favourite is. Right, so anyway, The Conjuring 2 is a film that's quite close to us because obviously it's set in the UK. It's set in a place in London where, I mean, it's all the Conjuring films are based on sort of true stories. And this is the Enfield Hauntings is one of the most famous ghost stories ever. And it's a London ghost story. I'm originally from London. So it's kind of very sort of like hits me quite close to home, really. And it's a story about a family in a normal, everyday London-like house, middle of the street sort of thing. And in the house, an old man has died. and the young girl that lives in the house is sort of becoming possessed, we believe, by the old man. And it is I say it's a true story. This story went worldwide, and obviously the Warrens were involved in it. Now, in this, obviously, it's a theatrical version of the story, so it's going to be a bit more hyped up, a bit more over dramatized. I think the Warrens involved it's a bit more in the movie than it was in real life. So basically, this family, it's a mum and her 3 daughters. 3 daughters?
Yeah.
3 daughters.
Yeah, 3 daughters.
2 sons.
And then one
No.
son.
3 daughters,
One
1
son.
son.
No,
2 daughters, 1 son. 2
No.
daughters. No, wait on what?
It's
Yeah,
3
because
daughters, 2
That's
sons.
what happened.
3 daughters, 2 sons. 1 older son and 1 the little one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who.
So anyway,
Really?
the family,
Cricket man.
right? And so the daughter, one of the daughters, is sort of like the middle daughter, the middle child, starts to become semi-possessed by the demon, by the monster in this. So as it plays out, we sort of get the ghostly old man, which has some really scary jump scenes.
Was
There's
it
a
that
scene,
one?
yeah, there's a scene where she's in the front room watching telly, and she's flicking the telly. She gets closer to the telly, and the shadow on the telly, the old man saying like "Rah!" like scares the crap out of her, and scares the crap out of us as well. And there's a lot of good things. Now, this film to me, I really love this film. This Conjuring 2 is brilliant in my view. What do you guys think of the Conjuring 2? Now, you said it's one of your favourites.
It is my favourite.
Do you like the Conjuring 2?
Yes, but it's
It
scary.
is very scary. What about
It's
you?
the best one. I still like the Crooked Man.
Do you guys? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention him in a minute. Do you guys feel it's more scary because it happened here?
Yeah.
It's not somewhere far away.
Yes,
It
yes.
happened in this
What I
country.
have to think about is the Cricket Man, the bit where it was like she was transforming and like the dog as well. It was too animated. You can like
Yeah,
really tell.
there is some dodgy sort of CGI thing. I
The
think.
thing that really scared me with that,
Mhm.
not the
Was the
Crooked
dog.
Man. No, not that. Is when like the girl gets stuck in the bars. It's like, oh.
Yeah. So there's a few real freaky moments in this film. So you've got, we said, the Crooked Man, which is a character that the young boy in it does. He's got like a speech impediment, it's like a stutter, and he uses Crooked Man rhyme to get over it. Yeah, there you go. Lives in a crooked house with a crooked stick or whatever, and he uses that to try and get over his speech impediment. And then this Crooked Man character, sort of like you see it later on, is like this creepy demon thing that walks through the house. It's really scary.
I can't watch that bit. I just close my ears and shut my eyes.
That's
Can't
where you
watch
get the
it.
cushions up in when you watch
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, oh.
But there's also other moments, like there's parts where the girl's sort of possessed and she's all like "Rah," and she's demony. But the best thing about this film, I think, is the way they twist the ending. So it turns out that the old man is not the evil in the house. He did die in the house. He's a spirit in the house, but there is another spirit in there with him, manipulating all of it. And this spirit is a nun called or pictures itself as a nun called Valak. And I love the way that they work this out, because there's 2 speeches done by the little girl when she's possessed. And the end of the film, when they're on the train home because they think the whole thing's been fake, they're about to leave because they do this really good bit where you think that the girl's been faking the whole thing, and they leave because they will be discredited, and so will everyone else around it be discredited, so they leave. And then when the Warrens are on the train, Ed Warren works out that if he plays 2 tapes at the same time, we get a secret message come through from the old man, that's the ghost of the old man that's trapped in the house, where he's basically saying he needs help, he wants to get out. And he's trapped, and oh my god, it's such a revelation in the movie that you now realise that the old man isn't the bad, it's this Valak, which is this demon.
He just wants to go. It won't let him go.
Is this based on a true story?
Yeah,
Basically, you get 2 hints that it's Valak
yeah.
because
Oh no.
on the bookcase, so like one of the stars,
Oh yeah,
it says the name Valak, like in like what bookend letters, and also when she's like writing when she's reading the Bible and she goes into a vision, she writes it down
yeah,
in
Valak,
it,
yeah.
and then she realizes that like by the end.
And we find out that Valak is this demon, and by saying its name, by knowing its name and saying its name, it gives you power over it.
Like, I know your name.
And also you have the whole thing where Lorraine Warren has touched a man in the past when she's doing one of her exorcisms, and she's touched this guy in the past and got a vision of her husband dying and being killed by a Valak and impaled. And she keeps seeing this.
On a spike.
And this film also has one of the best scare scenes in any movie. And it's the scene when Ed Warren's painted the nun, right? This nun, creepy looking nun painting. And then she's having one of her visions, and she's in her house, and there's a shadow walking around the wall, and it gets to the painting. and you've got the square bit of the painting like that. I'll try and show this mirror. Right, square bit of the painting like that, and then you see these hands come round the painting like that, and then the painting rushes at the screen.
And it's not even. And when you look at you get a glimpse of the painting, and the nun is not there. It was the actual nun come out.
Yeah, and they do a very clever thing with the nun's eyes. Now the woman that plays the nun,
it's actually really creepy.
she's a very unique looking woman, so it really works well. So they've found this woman and got her in this film. Genius casting, genius. I think everyone cast in this film is actually very good. Like very believable characters and very well. It's all very well done. So and very well, especially the kids in this film. Very good acting, like very good acting kids, because you kind of believe them. Especially the two girls, like the older girl and the young one. Very good actors.
The mum in it, I couldn't. She was not in British. She was Australian.
No, she's British.
What she sounded like? She's
doing a Cockney accent, but I've seen her in a lot of films in English. She's a very good actress, but she's putting on a Cockney accent. Why? It's a very deep sort of 70s Cockney accent. So that the Cockney accent has changed a lot in recent years, but it's a very unique sort of Cockney accent. I've got a slight, because I'm from South East London, it twinges out every so often, but it's nothing like you get in the proper Cockney sort of in the sound and born within the sound of Bow Bells Cockneys, right? But it was a very good portrayal of all the characters. Especially, I said the kids were phenomenal in this film. So
especially Billy.
Yeah, so they defeat Valak, the nun.
Biscuits.
They defeat Valak, the nun. Everyone's happy. The kids go back to it, but then you sort of found out later on that in real life more happened after that. But it was just the way the film worked.
Line is biscuits.
Oh, the kid that loves his biscuits.
You got biscuits.
But it is good because I mean, if this was true, and I know I've watched documentaries about the Enfield hauntings in the past, and it is a creepy story, especially when you find that the police were involved and the police did see things in that house. Now, whether or not the family were faking it and very good at faking things, and to convince the police that they saw something, because actually seen where the police go in and see it.
No, the police come in and then they put a chair somewhere,
and
then the chair just comes walking past them on its own.
And you see the police walk out and they're like, "Yeah, we can't deal with this," and they just leave. But that actually happened, and all similar to that happened. And then obviously you got the Lloyd St. Grossman, his name was, and he was mega into the paranormal, and his story is actually quite haunting because he tells his story that his daughter died, and that's why he's into the paranormal now. I'd like to see him come back in another Conjuring film, to be honest with you, but I know he's very...
What Conjuring was he in?
He's in this one. The man with the glasses who's kind of they're trying to talk to, help them out. I think his name's St. Grossman. But anyway,
was it the guy that
His
done
daughter
the
died
actual
in a car crash.
Yeah, his daughter died in a car crash, and that's why he's kind of got into the paranormal. If he was a psychologist, now he's into the paranormal because he's trying to sort of almost communicate with his daughter. Somebody sort of talks to people and gets in their heads and stuff, like a head doctor. Anyway, so that was The Conjuring 2, and we're going to move on to the next one. Right, so the next film was Annabelle Creation. Now this tells the story of the man who actually made the doll of Annabelle, and it gives us a little backstory into sort of where that ghost come from, where the name Annabelle come from. So it's a horrible story, isn't it? Because it's he's a doll maker. He makes these vintage, old-fashioned toys, and his daughter runs out into the road
to get a nut
that come off the car, and she gets hit by a car. It's horrific.
Dad, I get it now. You know the trolley, the pram thing where it gets hit by a lorry.
Yeah.
That's meant to be Annabelle when she runs out.
There you go. So there we go.
I get it now.
It all links up. So, and that's the good thing about these films. They all have a link. And
I've played these games before.
And they all come back to each other. It's really cleverly done. So, right, we're talking about... So the doll maker makes the doll, his daughter dies, and then this demon latches itself onto the daughter, and this demon is Valak. No, it's not.
No, that's a lie.
No, it's this Mephisto, whatever his name is.
Matteo Mephisto.
Demon has latched itself onto the doll as well. And then it's basically the guy, because his kids die, he then brings a family into his house, and he
They're not a family.
it's an orphan. It's like a nun. A nun's got a load of orphans with her. It brings them into the house, and they start to experience ghostly stuff and scary stuff. And one of the girls in the house starts to... She's got paralysed, isn't she? She can't walk and stuff. She's got bad legs and stuff. And she becomes possessed by the spirit of this demon and stuff as well. And it sort of goes on from there. So obviously it's a bit creepy. And it's a bit weird.
Around.
And yeah, she starts to walk around. So it's all very...
No, and
is this the one with the demon in?
At the end, she basically goes to an adoption centre.
Yeah.
The one that got possessed, but then her name changed to Annabelle. like the first
Sorry,
one. Like when like
That's creepy.
because the doll maker named like the doll after his daughter when she died.
Yeah.
And then she changed her name to Annabelle and wore the exact same things as Annabelle. And then
Wow.
and then after that, when she got adopted, when she turned about like 21 or 16 or something, she was still living with her parents. But then she
went on
got
holiday.
she got
She went on holiday. Then she went, "Hi, Mum and Dad." Oh.
Yeah. So.
yeah, she went on holiday, came back like
Which one has that
unsurpri-
creepy?
came back surprisingly, and then said, "Hey, Mum and Dad," when they were in their bed, and then started stabbing them.
Yeah, so that's the thing about these Conjuring films. They all sort of link back. And then we found out that the end of Annabelle creation is the beginning of the Annabelle film, when the mum with a baby first has like a horrific encounter. But it's basically the woman that comes back to kill her foster parents or her adopted parents, then goes next door and tries to kill the woman who actually has Annabelle in the bedroom.
Which
is probably what draws her there.
No,
She probably is
Dad,
drawn
I
to.
understand it now.
Yeah.
Basically, the girl was like kind of possessed, when with Annabelle and how she stabbed her parents. That like the one that was in what's like the gang group thing. She said, "Hi, hey, Mum and Dad," and then stabbed them.
Mm.
But when they came into the house because they saw it, she latched onto Annabelle, died. Her like blood from her neck that she sliced herself for went into the eye, and then that's how she got into Annabelle.
Yeah. So Annabelle again,
No.
creepy doll. We do not want it living in our house with us. Right, so we're going to move on to the next film. Oh, there's one thing we should mention.
Oh.
That in Annabelle Creation, there was a nun that sort of looked after the foster kids in the house. She showed us a photograph of a load of nuns, and in the corner of that photograph is a slightly silhouetted, blacked out nun. And that photograph comes up later.
Wait, what?
We're going on to now to the nun.
Oh, I hate it.
You slapping me?
That DVD is creepy.
I've got to look at that. It's scary. The nun proper freaks me out. Is that real?
So, the nun is the next one in the franchise.
No.
The Nun is the next one in the franchise, and the Nun is actually a sort of, it's almost like a period piece. We go back in the past in this one to this old sort of like European church where a nun has infiltrated, an evil demonic spirit nun has infiltrated the church and has wiped out all the nuns in the church and the priest as well. And then the church do, they send a vicar and a trainee nun in to try and work out what's going on inside this.
Not a trainee though.
Well, she's like a learner. She hasn't had the full, hasn't done the, what do they call it? She hasn't been like ordained or whatever it is.
She hasn't
for
been
nuns.
nullified.
But we've been proper like, wow. Yeah, she hasn't been like made into a full nun yet. But she's actually being played by the sister of the actress that plays Lorraine Warren. So they look very similar, but she looks like a younger version of her. So you'd almost be fooled to think, oh, maybe they sort of de-aged her, but it's not. It's actually just a younger sister, and she does look a lot like her sister. Again, quite good actresses. But so they go in to try and investigate this situation, and we basically get another story of Valak. Now, Valak, who is also the nun, is trying to find an artifact within that church. And it turns out it's like a thing with the blood of Christ in, like a jar of the blood of Christ in it.
So they have to discover.
Well, they have to discover. And this whole film is sort of them leading to this point.
And the nuns also discovering
Yeah.
what they want to discover.
And there's another guy that's in the church. He sort of works, he's like a gamekeeper in the church as well, kind of helps them, called Maurice. And he,
Or a Frenchie, actually.
Yeah. Or Frenchie is his nickname's Frenchie, but he's called Maurice. And he's trying to sort of help them because he discovered the nun that hung herself in the beginning of the film and stuff like that. So it's a real creepy vibes in this film. Very dark. The whole film's very dark. Set in these old churches and stuff. You love the case. It's good artwork on a case. But the good versus evil thing going on. So we've got our sort of story. It's not very Conjuring-y story. It's sort of, as I said, set in the past, but it's got this Valak character. Yeah. And we find out sort of that how this happens, and we lead to them to defeating Valak at this point. Only Valak doesn't get defeated. It goes into the boy. And this is where I mean all these Conjuring films link together. It goes into Maurice. All these Conjuring films link together. Because then you get shown at the end of that, the scene of Lorraine Warren during the exorcism is actually on Maurice. And that she sees the nun for the first time when she touches him, and she sees the premonition of her husband dying in the Conjuring 2. So it all goes back to the Conjuring 2. That Valak is this like powerful thing. And I thought that was brilliant, the way it harks back on that. So then we were like, we're impressed. What did we think of The Nun being set in the past? And what did we think of it compared to sort of the Conjuring films are all kind of set a bit more in the 60s and 70s?
I don't really like it being set in the past.
When was it? Actually tell us when it's set.
Oh.
The actual date. No, it doesn't. Not on the back here. But it's very much, it's very creepy. What do you think of the atmosphere of the film? The style of it, the filming of it? Do you feel it was very grey tones, very dark?
This is literally every single Conjuring film there has been.
What, with seeing someone get dragged by the legs, yeah. So, that's a really, look, just see Reggie's face, just his eyes popping out over the top. So, what do we think of do we think The Nun is more scary than Annabelle?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
So the Nun,
100.
yeah. So,
It's just the nuns, like, if the nun who, yeah. Like, even though she's got a unique face,
Very.
yeah, it's scary. Just like
Look at
her,
that.
her face is made for one of them like scary
Hmm.
ones. Like she played a good part in it because her face was actually scary.
I think the thing about her is she's got such a presence that even standing still, just looking at you, scares the crap out of you. She doesn't have to do anything.
I searched the lady who played her, yeah,
Hmm.
and she, like on Google, and the photo that it had, it actually looked well scary. I was like,
Google it.
oh.
I bet she's the loveliest lady on the planet as well.
Probably.
I just think she's the nicest woman in the world. I know she has a lot of convention. Maybe one day we'll go to a convention and try and meet her.
Wait,
'Cause
what's her
I
name?
can't remember. Just write the Nun actress. I'm willing to bet she's the nicest woman on the planet, but she's got like definitely a scary look about her. But in this film, the way they sort of get her just to stand still and stare at the camera, it's really creepy, and it's and for a person to have that presence is amazing. So
Oh, yeah, Dad, she actually does look like the nun.
yeah, there you go. Look, do you want me to just push that towards the camera? So that's the actress
There's
that plays.
a picture, if you go
Oh, I don't
back,
know if he's gonna be able to see it because the.
Turn the brightness down.
How do I do that? So you're asking me to do technical stuff? Ah,
What you said?
I don't know what I've done.
Dad, pass it to me.
No, shut it on his messages.
There we go. Look, so that's her, and you can see that she does actually look like the
Dad,
nun.
pass it to me.
But
Can I see
I
it?
got.
I
There's one that's better.
no, don't worry about that. We've seen it now anyway. So the nun. So you think the nun is not as good as the other Conjuring films, sort of set a bit further on in the timeline, yeah?
No.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna.
It's just good on the freaky side.
No, so now we're gonna go back to Annabelle.
Oh gosh.
Right. So we now move on to what I believe should be called the Conjuring 3. I still think this is the Conjuring 3.
Okay.
Yes, the Warrens aren't in it as much, but it's set in their life, in their house. Right, so here we go. This is Annabelle Comes Home. Ooh, cool slipcase. Now, I love this one. This is brilliant. So it's got,
slipcase.
there you go. So it's the girl that was in the new Ghostbusters films is playing the Warrens' daughter. And she gets these babysitters. The Warrens are going off somewhere. We don't actually know where they're going. They're going off probably to do another one of their weird demony cases. And they've got a babysitter looking after the kids. And her friend comes over to sort of join them looking after them. And the friend has just recently, her dad's died. So she's kind of everyone's kind of knows who the Warrens are at this point in the sort of local town, in the schools. They're kind of bullying the daughter as well. And the friend's had her dad die. So she goes to Warren's house hoping she's going to somehow connect to her dad in the house. And she goes into the Warrens' special room with all the creepy stuff because the Warrens have this like museum in their
She
basement.
got told not to.
I know she got told not to, but she's a museum in the basement. It's all based around the paranormal stuff.
That's
all
what Annabelle is.
it's all artifacts from the Warrens' cases. And Annabelle is in this room and she gets blessed like once every month or something to keep her safe,
No,
locked
it's
inside
once
this.
a week.
And the sort of the glass, we find the glass was made out of some church glass or something. So she's in this like glass cabinet. So this girl goes into the basement, unbeknownst to the babysitter and the daughter, and opens Annabelle's case, and then doesn't shut it properly. So then you get Annabelle being a conduit for demons. All the other artifacts start acting up in the house. We get some weird stuff going on. So we get these weird, creepy guys with their coins over their eyes.
Sacred glass, apparently.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, them.
Yeah, and then we get the werewolf outside. There's actually a werewolf in this film that
Oh,
hunts
yeah.
the boy outside. So this film has got a lot of comedy in it, more than I think the other.
Dad, I get why you think that it's the Conjuring 3 because what it says on the blurb is, but when the doll escapes and awakens the room of evil spirits, she conjures
Ah, she conjures.
up an unholy night of horror for the Warrens, daughter and her friends, as they desperately battle to bring Annabelle's reign of terror to an end.
Yeah, so the film is at this point onwards. It's basically Annabelle unleashing all this hell in the house, and the kids having to try and escape the hell in the house. And it is a great film. To me, it's a bit more comedy in this one than the others. Do you think there's a bit more comedy in this one than the others?
Yeah.
Oh, the kids trying to escape and stuff. It's kind of a bit, not Goonies-y, but it's got that kind of like
Dad,
children trying to fight demons.
it's
sort of
what
thing.
I figured out with like the TV thing when she was just looking into the TV. How what she was saying was 10 seconds before.
Oh yeah, we had that going.
I
That's one of the
figured that
quick
out
things.
actually.
There's a lot of creepy stuff in this film, but there's also a lot of like fun stuff. This one was more of a fun film for me. I found it fun. Reggie, on the other hand, had one of the funniest jump scares I've ever seen while watching this film.
Oh yeah.
So there's a scene where a demon sort of comes up from behind and is only there. And Reggie, no word of a lie, this is kind of what I'll try and do it now. He kind of went, "Oh!" when it happened.
Reggie, recreate what you did when
Can you
you
do
go.
it? Do you think you can do it? Your little panic attack when you saw the demon happened? 1, 3, demon! He's not going to do it. But show us when you did that, because that was the funniest. He was like, "Ah!"
I'll only do it if I see that photo again.
I know, you probably freak out, but it was very funny, and we all kind of laughed in unison. Lenny jumped at that point as well. Amelia was trying to be crafty by not looking fully at the screen. She knew something was about to happen. He had that
No, do you know what I
build.
do? Every time I know something bad's going to happen, the TV's there, you either look there, so I can hear what's going on, but I just don't look at it.
No, here's the
Because
thing.
then otherwise I know I'm going to get nightmares.
Well,
Like,
I
oh.
knew there was going to be a jump scare because what was happening was first there was just like no one there on like one like green, and then it turned to yellow, and then there was literally just like something sitting up, and then there's on like blue, then it was Annabelle standing, and then on 4 it was the demon.
Yeah.
And you saw
I
it, like,
think, to be honest, I think we've kind of worked, because we've watched all these films so far. And when we've got to this one, we've kind of worked out the formula for the jump scares. Because I noticed that literally in unison, as something was about to happen, the kids are all unison, put the pillows up over their faces, all at exactly the same time. So they've all kind of worked out, sort of like creepy vibes. We're building to something, we're building to a jump scare, and they sort of have this feeling there's a jump scare about to
and
happen.
here's the thing, most of the time there's nothing there.
No.
There's no jump scare. We just do that, and there's no jump scare.
But it is a weird. It means being tapped by Annabelle.
I am being attacked.
So,
I'm real.
do we right? So we've got this far into the Conjuring films, and we really like this one because obviously the Warrens are. This is why I think it should be the Conjuring 3 because the Warrens are in this film at the beginning and the end, and it's about their family. I still think this should be called the Conjuring 3. I think they've called it Annabelle Comes
You've said that
Home
about
because
a million times, you know that, right?
in the sort of like marketing side of it, I think Annabelle herself is actually selling more than the Conjuring does, so they're trying to promote Annabelle more. So anyway, so we've done Annabelle now. We move on now to the next Conjuring film, which isn't called the Conjuring 3. It's called the Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. Right, so now we're on to The Devil Made Me Do It, which is another true story from the Warrens crime list. So this is a story of a guy in America.
Real story.
Yeah, this is a story of a guy in America who killed a guy that was like a manager of a pet thing. And when he was caught by the police, he was sort of walking down the road, covered in blood, just walking, and the police pulled him over, stopped him. And he said that the devil had made him kill someone. Now, this is a story about where the Warrens had tried to investigate do an exorcism on a young boy, on a young boy who was possessed. And the demon went from the young boy into this guy, and then he goes off and kills someone. And it's about them trying to defend this guy in court. And wait 1 minute. It's trying to defend this guy in court, and to try and convince the court that the devil actually did make him do this, and it wasn't him doing it; it was actually a demon. So that's what the Warrens are trying to do. So this film follows that, but it also has this other plot where there was a witch that was actually like manipulated this guy and getting him to do these killings. Right, now you can talk to me. What is it?
All right. So when the police found him walking down the road, basically with the blood on him, it was the best line of it has to be he had blood all over him, and it was like, I think I hurt someone.
That was his line. Yeah, I think I hurt someone. And he's basically trying to say that the devil had actually made him do commit this crime. So now we've got the story of like they find a totem underneath the thing, like a witch symbol thing underneath the thing.
Singleton Lake.
What?
You said single thing, so I said Singleton Lake.
Okay, weird. So yeah, we've got this whole thing where the devil has left this like weird. This witch has left this totem underneath. She's trying to get a demon to sort of like grant her whatever.
I think I heard someone.
Okay. So what do we think of this one? What do we think of this Conjuring film?
It was alright.
It was alright. You didn't watch this one, no. This one you didn't watch. So
I think I heard someone.
yeah. So anyway, stop saying that. So we need to talk about this film. So
By this,
did we think that? Do we think this is a really good excuse for murdering someone? That if you could say
yes.
the devil made me do it, you could try and get away with it.
No.
I think
No.
I heard someone.
Anyway,
Wait, just shush,
I
mate.
like
Right,
it
so-
just because of that.
Bed.
Okay.
yeah. So
'Cause I feel
obviously
like it's cool.
we got a kind of a like almost
You
like a
remember
fight between Lorraine Warren being the sort of almost like the good witch in a way versus this evil witch that we meet later on. And it's clever how they sort of work out that who this witch is. It turns out it's the daughter of a priest. The priest, an ex-priest that was kind of like trying to sort of find more information about the occult and demons and stuff, who ends up getting a bit obsessed by it, who has a daughter in secret, and she becomes obsessed by it and becomes this like witch. And we get a lot of they're trying to basically get this guy to kill himself, and the devil's trying to take over the guy's thingy. And I think in reality what happened was in the end they didn't, it was supposed to be getting the guy that did the killings is supposed to be getting an electric chair. Only instead they ended up giving him sort of like a prison sentence instead, because they couldn't really not prove the demon didn't tell him to do it. It's a weird story. If you look at the real story behind this case, it is mental.
I understand it basically. They say because of how many he did, like 22 stabs.
Yeah.
He said that he was life sentenced, but if you think about it, this must have been set in like the 70s, as in the like the 80s, like early 80s. I think like death penalty was cancelled.
In America, it's still there now. I think
Is it
they've
actually?
still got death penalty in America. Yeah.
Oh my,
In
what's
certain
that?
in
They're
certain
weird.
states of America, where if you commit a really bad
Ohio.
crime, they'll kill you.
Ohio.
Yeah, they'll like electric chair you or
Down,
electric. It's lethal injection. I think
What
they
about
use.
execute
Wait,
you?
wait, if
Yeah, that's
they,
it. They execute you. So yeah.
wait, if someone murders you.
So say you murder
Extortion.
someone
What's extortion?
in cold blood, you could go on the death penalty, which means they'll kill you by lethal injection at some
What's
point.
extortion?
Would that hurt?
That was extortion.
I think you get knocked out before it happens, but yeah.
Yeah, can you explain to
It's
me what
extortion's when you sort of try and get money off someone.
Oh.
So anyway, that's
I
that one.
extortion you.
So now we're going to move on to our next film, which is The Nun 2. The Nun 2, the last film that we watched
Oh,
in this
I hate
franchise.
this
It was brilliant.
It was so boring.
I hated the goat. It's creepy, the goat.
I liked the
Oh,
goat.
actually, you can see a face there.
Boring.
So,
Wait, what?
what do we think of The Nun 2?
Oh, what the hell?
Considering that we've now moved on, this is the most recent one made in 2003. Well, you see the nun in the background there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Can we see?
So,
Damn, okay.
so what do we think of The Nun 2? Let's give it a quick. What do you think of The Nun 2?
I hated the. But what is it? The goat.
The goat demon. It's like the devil. I
The,
think, devil.
the best film I've ever watched.
You really love this one.
No, it was how like the eyes.
Considering we recently said
No,
that
it was Maurice though. He was so sad.
Maurice character is so nice, but the thing is, I
But how
don't
many
get.
times could he have died right there? He
Yeah.
died like 10 times, but still came alive.
Yeah, he was unstoppable, Maurice. Let's be honest. The man's like Wolverine. Yeah, so
He actually died though.
in The Nun 2, we sort of get a continuation of what happened in the last one. So Maurice, obviously, at the end of the last film, got valaked and had the nun come into him, and he goes off. Now, we did see that in the flash forward that Lorraine Warren's like trying to exorcise the demon in him, and then she sees these visions. This is where I'm getting confused, right? So
Because if that was set in
We
like
now
really
get-
past,
so
then how was
our
he still
trainee
alive?
nun is now an official nun, and she's living in a convent. People are telling the story of what happened to her, but they don't know it's her. And she's made this friend of this young girl who's like training to become a nun,
But it's really bad.
and she's not a very good nun. She's
She
smoking.
commits a bunch of sins.
She's a bit of a wild child nun, her friend she makes.
This says.
Anyway, so what is it?
This says the greatest evil in the Conjuring
The
universe.
greatest evil in the Conjuring universe. Good stuff.
Yeah, the nun.
So now we've sort of like, we've got our nun, we've got our other characters.
And Annabelle.
Annabelle's not here.
Is that?
So
is that a
But
T?
still.
that's a T, yes. It's an upside down cross. So anyway, so now we know, where was I with this? Yeah, so
I don't know.
the nun's living like happy sort of life in the nunnery, and then she gets a phone call that they found out there's a load of priests have been killed in like a pattern as if it's travelling. So something is travelling, killing priests in different churches. And we find out it's basically
going to Romania.
It's going to a church in Romania where it's like an orphanage, isn't it? It's like a... Is it an orphanage? No, it's a boarding school. It's a boarding school in Romania that nuns kind of run.
Maurice is there.
And Maurice is there. So
And
this is where we find out that the nun is still with Maurice. Valak, the nun, is still with Maurice. And it's using him to find another artifact, a different artifact this time, to give it power. The eyes of
Saint Lucy.
Is it St. Lucy?
Yeah, St. Lucy.
The eyes of St. Lucy, which were she was a saint who was burnt and tortured, but they actually removed her eyes
Because they could not kill her.
because they could not kill, so they removed her eyes. So these eyes are somewhere, and these are like powerful sort of like religious artifacts.
If you get them, you can't stop.
Sorry, I got interrupted. So yeah, St. Lucy's eyes. So that's the artifact the nun is looking for. So now we've got like a race against time where our good nun is trying to work out the situation and trying to race to get these eyes as well. At the same time, we know that Valak is actually in the building where we found the eyes are, but she can't find them. So she's trying to use Maurice as a way to find these eyes. And it's a bloody good film, this one. This one was much better than the original Nun. It really gives you a sense of terror because you've got these young girls in the school as well, and they all end up becoming like chased by like demons in the school as well. Because Valak obviously brings.
Explained. Do you know the one that got stabbed by that goat?
Yeah, don't really find what happens. Right?
Yeah.
But
Did she die or not?
basically, Valak sort of
No,
brings forth
she
this
didn't.
like devil that the kids are all scared of. It's from a like there's like a stained glass window. It's got this like devil on it, which is like a goat man, sort of the classic image of
And
the
like
devil.
all the girls there playing.
And it comes out and comes alive. So you've got this goat demon thing chasing the girls around the thing. At the same time, you've got our good hero nun trying to save Maurice and trying to defeat Valak at the same time. And it's good. But the thing that gets me, right, I don't know if you guys get as well, they succeed. They defeat Valak.
Somehow.
Using the eyes, they beat Valak. So now I'm
But
like,
then she has the eyes.
yeah, because Valak
Use the
gets
red
the
wine.
eyes, but then they used red wine, which is obviously the symbol of the blood of Christ, and they bless the red wine in the room. Because it all takes place like a wine cellar at the end. And they use the red wine sort of defeat Valak. But also then she gets the eyes and uses the eyes to defeat Valak. It turns out she has the eyes herself because we find she's descendant from St. Lucy. So the descendants of St. Lucy all have the same eyes that St. Lucy would have. So they're all powerful, which is why they see visions. And then they do a really clever thing, which I've seen done in Doctor Who in the past as well, where they show like the St. Lucy's eyes, then they show the nun, a hero nun's eyes, and they quickly have a flash of Lorraine Warren in that little bit where you see the eyes, and she suddenly works out my eyes that my mum gave me my eyes, and you see the mum's
and
eyes.
here's the thing, yeah.
like-
When it was like in the past with her and her mum, when she got
Yeah.
taken away, she said, "You have my eyes."
Yeah, because that's the point. Her mum, because obviously this comes down from the past, so it's a descendant of St. Lucy. So every woman in that family descendant line would have these visions because the descendant. So it means her mum had the visions, the nun had the visions, and somehow Lorraine Warren is a descendant of these people. I don't know if it's going to take the nun is her mum or a nan or something. I don't know. But a good girl nun. that is.
Basically the nun is a demon that, you know, at the first bit when they went to like try and get rid of the demon locked in that thing, she basically took the body of the one that she could.
Yeah.
So that's how she turned it.
But we're talking about the good guys here. So the good girl nun, the sort of she has this moment when she's realization that she actually has the same eyes as like her ancestors, being her ancestor being St. Lucy. We get this whole sort of like quick image of like the mum having them, her having them, and then you suddenly see Lorraine Warren suddenly flash up and go again, sort of blink and you miss it moment. So obviously that means that Lorraine is obviously family connected to this nun as well, which obviously we know it's played by her sister. They look a lot alike. I know it's good, isn't it? So that is another good thing about these films where they sort of connect all together. So then she saves the day, kills the nun, and then I'm like, but hang on a minute, because we know that in the future Lorraine Warren is going to try and exorcise Maurice, and the nun's still in there. So I don't get where we're going with that. So that really threw me off a bit. So but then at the very end of the movie, we suddenly see like we jump forward into the future to the Warren's house, and they answer a phone call from a priest saying, "We need your help." And he's like, "What do you want us to do?" And then it cuts. So obviously we're now moving in to the final Conjuring movie, which is going to be out this year sometime. The Last Rite is going to be called.
Yeah.
And they say it's going to be the very final one.
It's 2025, guys.
So now, what are our predictions for the last Conjuring movie? Where do we think they're going with this?
They end up stopping the nun and Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
Annabelle's already been stopped, first of all.
Oh.
Sort of.
I know what they're gonna do. I have a feeling that.
Guys,
What?
look what I've noticed in this.
What?
Does it look like a face?
It is, because that's where it's on the wall, isn't that?
Yeah. Also,
Plaster's dripping off the wall.
I think there's something wrong with that.
No,
eye.
it's supposed to be like that. She has a
Oh.
funky eye. Yeah, she
Oh.
has. Annabelle has a funky eye.
That failed.
Which way?
Because that
like
has
it,
like
isn't
a line in there.
it? Yeah. So I think this is my theory
Yeah.
of what's going to happen in this movie. I think the nun gets back into Maurice. She does the exorcism thing, tries to get out, and I think we're going to get the nun, Valak, teaming up with Annabelle. I think somehow the nun is going to get into that Warren's museum and use Annabelle, and it's gonna hell's gonna hit the fan. The poop's gonna hit the fan on this one, because it's all gonna go nuts. And I think the Warrens gonna have to fight with their family to get rid of this. This is gonna be a completely theatrical story, maybe not based on it. And I think we're gonna see Ed Warren die in this film. So I know he died before his wife did in real life. So I think we might see Ed Warren die in this
Well,
film.
no, because it was
Wait, is
in
that-
one of the films?
Is that
Ed had a heart attack.
Yeah, we know he's got a bad heart, 'cause he had a heart attack in The Devil
The
Made Me
one
Do
with
It.
the,
When
I
the
think
kid
I
tried
heard
to-
someone.
Wait, is that the
Yeah.
boy next to the girl
Yeah.
in the photo?
I
Yeah.
think I heard
No.
someone.
I think we're going to see him die in this film, but I also think that's the last right, and they're going to finish this Conjuring universe. So I do think we're going to see it, but I am thinking, because with the Nun 2 and this Eyes of Lucy thing, I think we're leading up to a big finish with the
Like
Nun
a
and Valak
4.5 hour
Teaming up.
film.
in like a
The
Marvel.
nun and Valak are the same person.
I'm sorry, the Valak and Annabelle, so the Nun and Annabelle teaming up to take on the Warrens in like an Avengers style sort of team up thing.
Thanos.
That's what I think is coming. That's what I think we've got, and it's going to be a battle over in that Warren's room. I think with all the different relics coming out. I think we're going to see the Crooked Man. We're going to see like a best hits of the Conjuring in this last one. The Crooked Man's coming out. Bathsheba's coming out. It's
If
going
the
to be.
new Crooked Man comes out, I'm gonna.
It's going to be a proper,
Right.
full-on demon religion fight.
Demon War.
Demon War. That's what it should
Demon
be. The Conjuring
Strike.
Demon War would have been much better. Like
Yeah.
a proper heaven versus hell moment, and the Warrens are kind of the front line.
Heaven.
That is going to be brilliant.
They could just call it
Didn't your
Demon Strike.
like Nanny Jones's like husband, your granddad, wasn't he like fought in front line?
He fought in the front line of World War II, yeah. But
He survived, right?
nothing to do with heaven and hell. But yes, he survived World War II, yes. So
That's
he
why
fought
my
in the front
middle
line.
name's the same name.
Yes.
Oh.
So anyway, guys,
No,
so
no one's even talking like that, so shut
so
up.
as we talk about the Conjuring, if you guys have any theories on what the next Conjuring is about, maybe you already know, maybe it's already been released, I don't know. If you have any, I know we're waiting for the trailer's coming out soon for it. But if you guys have got any theories about where you think this franchise is going to, or how it's going to end, let us know. If you think I'm talking rubbish, let me know. But let me know what you think of the
Down below.
Conjuring franchise. What is your favourite Conjuring film? So that's what we're going to do now.
Oh yeah, guys, remember.
So now we're going to. What is everyone's favourite Conjuring film? Reggie, what is your favourite one?
None 2.
You love the Nun too, yeah? I thought you'd love the Annabelle Comes Home because the
Well, it's both of them.
it's both of them. But you like the Nun too because you like the goat. You
Yes.
like that one.
Yeah.
Lenny, what was your favourite?
Yes.
Conjuring 2 is your favourite. Amelia? Conjuring 2 again. I've got to say Conjuring 2 is probably my favourite. Again, I do think it's closer to home. I think that's what makes Conjuring 2 that
Was
bit
it-
more.
Wait, was it set in Europe?
No, it's set in.
Go! Oh
No.
my god.
It's set in London.
It's in Enfield, London. So anyway,
Well, basically, you got it correct.
Anyway, so- and the thing is, we could go there one day. We could go to that place and stand outside that house.
Oh, yes.
We
Is
could
it
do,
all
yeah.
like blurred or
Oh, I want to go in,
It's
though.
the actual, yeah, funny enough, we actually Google mapped it, and the house has been blurred on Google Maps, so you can't see it anymore. So obviously, the people who live there now, we don't want people staring into their house all the time on
I
Google
would
Maps.
hate to live there.
The whole house. If you go down that street now, the house is there, but they've completely blurred that house out.
I
Completely.
hate to live in the house watching that film.
Yeah. So anyway, so so your favourite was The Conjuring 2. I've said Conjuring 2 is my favourite as well. You love The Nun 2. I like these films. A lot of people, like horror fans, give these films a bit of stick, but I think these films are brilliant, especially if it's like little gateway horror. So if you've got kids that like
Ouija.
some scary films and like some freaky films,
No.
these are good ones to choose. I said earlier in the video, at the beginning of the video, they don't have sex in them. They don't have swearing in them. It's very much about the creepiness and the jump scares, and there's some fun in them as well. So I definitely think these are like later gateway films. Obviously not the first one just showing, but they're going to be ones that sort of build up to. They're sort of good little ones to watch as a family, really, because we've had a good time watching. We've had some laugh. We have wet ourselves laughing watching these films. We've all jumped at the same time. We've talked about them afterwards. We've giggled. We've had a good time. I mean, the scene where in The Conjuring 2 where the sofa hits the bloke in the face through the window. Amelia laughed for about 20 minutes continuously. We had to stop the film because she kept laughing. Because she kept hitting this sofa hit him in the face.
Wait, what?
And there was a later, and one of the later films, like a plate hit someone in the head, and she just started laughing at that as well. Amelia loves like the
It's
Home
like
Alone
in
comedy.
Abigail with the thingy.
So Amelia often finds things in horror films that makes her laugh like continuously for about half an hour. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you like the Conjuring films yourself. Let us know what your favourite Conjuring films are. I know we said if this video gets 10 likes, we are going to do this again, but with the bloody Twilight movies. So let us know what if you think their films
start
good
with
as well.
number 1.
We're going to stop. We're going to go one. We're going to go for all of them.
Yes.
I don't like Twilight.
And the pointless double one that should have just been one film. Anyway, so
Number 1's the best.
guys, let's just wrap this up now. Say thanks to everyone for watching.
Wait, this is the 15.
Like
Yeah,
and
look at
subscribe, guys, and hit the notification bell to see what we're up to. Slide.
Yeah, so as I said, please like these videos and please subscribe because the kids all kind of want to get to 100 subscribers. We're getting close, 500 subscribers. Yes. We're getting very close to that, and it'll be fun for them if they get there.
No, I want you to get a thumb and play button.
Yeah, Rich, that's 20
That's
million.
never going to
That's
happen,
20
Richie.
million subscribers.
Anyway,
You do
guys,
know that.
thanks for watching. I'm not Mr. Beast, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
No, this is...
No.